video, we're going to be learning about percentage profit and loss. So before we get on to that, we need to go back over how to represent different proportional relationships using percentages. So as I'm going through this, it's generally a case of come up with a fraction where you have like the total as your denominator, some relevant part as your numerator, and then you multiply by 100%. Okay, so a crisp packet weighing 25 grams contains 7 grams of fat. What percentage is this? So 25 is our total, 7 over 25 multiplied by 100%. Now you can go about cancelling things down there, or if you want, just go to your calculator. 7 divided by 25 gives you 0.28. So that would be 28%. Okay. So 40 out of every 300 paper clips produced by a machine are faulty. What percentage is this? So our part over our total multiplied by 100, and that's going to work out to give us 0.13 recurring, which means that it's 0.1333 and so on. So as a percent, that's 13. Sorry, I forgot the 100% there. 13.3 recurring percent. Okay, so you could obviously round that, but we weren't told to. On Monday, 3 of my class of 29 students were late for school. What percentage were on time? So just be careful to read the questions. 3 were late, meaning 26 were on time. So that gives us 0.89655 and so on times 100%. And let's say I'm going to round to 1 decimal place. That's 89.7%. In year 8, there are 107 boys and 103 girls. What percentage are girls? So it's 23 girls out of a total class of 107 plus 123. So you need to know what the total is first. So 123 over 230 times 100%. So 123 divided by 230 gives us 53.478 and so on times 100%. So that works out to be roughly 53.4 or 53.5%. And then finally, Joey scores 37 out of 40 in a French test. What percentage is this? So that's 37 out of 40 multiplied by 100%. So we get 0.925 times 100%, which leaves us with 92.5%. So now we're going to have a look at percentage change. So percentage change is the difference between two values, one you have originally and then one that's, I suppose, new. So the way you're going to work out percentage change is the new value, take away your original value, then divide by your original multiplied by 100. So the key thing here is you've got your difference over the original, and you're going to multiply that by 100% to get your percentage. So again, it's very similar to the last few questions. There's just one extra step, the step where you have to find the difference. So the temperature at 2 p.m. this afternoon was 10 degrees Celsius, and by 9 p.m. it had fallen to 9 degrees Celsius. What is the change in temperature? So the change, not the percentage change, is just 18 degrees Celsius take away 9 degrees Celsius, which gives us 9 degrees Celsius. And what is the percentage change in the temperature? So we have our change, or our difference, all over our original value of 18. So multiply that by 100%, gives us 9 over 18 by 100%, which is 0.5 by 100%, which is 50%. So it was a 50% drop in temperature. Okay, so we've kind of covered all of the maths we need for profit and loss, but we just need to get our heads around how business actually works. So shops buy goods from suppliers at cost price. Okay, so imagine we have a shop, Cummins Sports, and they're going to buy these Cork jerseys, and they cost €40. Cummins Sports then sell the goods to the consumer at a higher price because obviously they want to make money on them, and this is known as the selling price. So if you might sell to the customer for €60. So the difference between the cost price and the selling price is called profit, assuming obviously that you actually make more money than you spent. So if a product or service is sold for more than it costs to buy or make, then the seller has made a profit. Okay, so if the money coming in, your selling price, is bigger than your cost price, then you've made a profit. Sometimes you'll have to make a loss where you've bought in something, so you've all been to sales, the shop has bought in something, they can't sell it, and they're going to sell it for less. They're not going to make any money on it, but it's better than having it sitting there in the shop. So that is called a loss, where you make less money. And then the something is the cost price plus or minus the profit or loss. That's going to be your selling price. Okay, so you have cost plus or minus the change, the profit or loss. And then you are left with the selling price. Okay. So how do you work out percentage profit or loss? So it's the same as percentage change. It is percentage change, where you had your difference over your original, and then you multiplied by 100%. Okay. Percentage profit and loss is the same. You're looking at the difference between your selling price and your cost price, and then you divide it by original, which was the cost price, the original price of the item. So depending on if you make money, so if you've made a profit, then you're going to have profit over cost price multiplied by 100%. Or if you make a loss, so if you've sold it for less, then you're going to have a loss over cost price multiplied by 100%. Okay, so it's the same formula as percentage change pretty much. So percentage profit. What percentage profit did Cummins Sports make on selling the Cork jersey? So the cost price was €40 and the selling price was €60. So they did make a profit. So it's selling price take away cost price. So it's €60 take away €40. So we've made a profit of €20 on every jersey, which is really good going. So your percentage profit then is going to be profit over cost price by 100%. So your change over your original by 100%. So that gives us €20 over our original cost of the jersey was €40 by 100%. And that works out to give us a 50% profit. Now, if you have an opportunity to invest in a company that's able to make 50% profit, go for it, because that is amazing. I'm going to keep going with examples. So for this question, there's a house. It was originally bought for €213,200 and it was sold for €260 7 years later. So first of all, we can see that they sold it for more money than they spent on it, so they have made a profit. We have to find the percentage profit as a percentage of cost price, and that's important, but we won't be dealing with it in today's class. So we have got to work out percentage profit, it's profit over cost price multiplied by 100%. So in order to work this out, we actually need to know what the profit is. So the profit is going to be the selling price take away the cost price, and that works out to be €46,800. Okay, so now working out the profit, we have €46,800 all over €213,200. Multiply that by 100%, and what you'll get is 18%. they have made an 18% profit, which again, really good going. You'd be delighted with that. Okay, so as you may know, when you buy a car, it loses value the older it gets, and that's called depreciation. And we might have a look at that later in the chapter. Imagine I bought a car for €15,000 and 4 years later I sell it for €8,000. What profit or loss did I make? So obviously in this case I've lost money. Okay, I gave €15,000, I only got €8,000 back, so I've made a loss. So if you think back to earlier in the video with the formula, we said it was selling price minus cost price. Okay, so if I do that, I have €8,000 minus my cost price of €15,000, which will leave me with minus €7,000. Now, when I'm actually explaining this to someone, I'm going to abandon our kind of math notation of a minus there, and I'm just going to say loss of €7,000, okay? Because we're kind of translating it back into business. What percentage profit or loss is that? So you have your loss over your original price, your cost price, multiplied by 100%. So that's going to be 7,000 over 15,000 multiplied by 100%. And when you work that out, you end up with 0.46 recurring times 100%. So that's about 46.66666%. So we might round that to 46.7%. Okay. Now it's your turn to have a go at some questions. Here's question 1. You'll find it on page 47. We're going to have a look at some other questions involving profit or loss. In this question, a bicycle was bought for €425 and later sold at a profit of 15% of the cost price. Find the selling price. So this is a percentage increase question. You start off with your cost, a percentage was added, and then you got the selling price. So we have 100% plus 15%, and that's going to give us 115%. So €425. To get the selling price, you can just multiply it by 1.15. So the 1 gives us the 425 back, and the 1.15 gives us the extra. So that is going to give us 488.75. Okay, obviously there's more ways to do that question, but if you're comfortable using the multiplier, that decimal, I think that's great. Okay, this is my last example for today. A car is sold for €3,525 at a loss of 25% of the cost price. What was the original price of the car? So this is like those reverse percentages questions that we went through when we were studying BAT. You have your cost, which is 100%. Then the loss was taken away, so 25% of that was taken away, and then you're left with your selling price. So the selling price is 75% of the original cost price. So cost times 0.5 gives you the selling price. And remember, you can't just get 25% of 3,525 because it's not as a percentage of the selling price, it's at a percentage of the cost price, and they will be different. So cost times 0.75 equals 3,525. So to get your cost price, just divide 3,525 by 0.75 or 75%, and that leaves you with €4,700. Okay, again, it's your turn to have a go at some questions. These are questions 3, 4, and 5 on page 48. Best of luck with the questions, and we'll go through the solutions in our next class.